My best friend's new boyfriend won't stop staring at me. Throwaway because my friend follows my real Reddit account. This is a bit of a wild one, so please bear with me. I, 27F, met my friend's new boyfriend, 31M, this week. They matched on Hinge and have been in a honeymoon phase for about 2 weeks now. Along with a few friends, we met up at a cafe to meet him. He was quiet, which was understandable given the circumstances, but I kept catching him staring at me. Not a brief glance or even anything flirtatious, more just cold and a bit unrelenting. I told myself I was overthinking things. She seemed so happy with him, and I wanted to trust that he was a good guy. Since then, she's given him my number, and he's been texting me pretty frequently. He also tried to add me on Snapchat. I didn't add him back. He never says anything to make me feel uncomfortable, so for the next few days, I tried my best to accept this new friendship. That brings us to present, about 3 weeks in, and they're going camping. When they went to check into their cabin, the boyfriend couldn't provide his license. In fact, he confessed he didn't have any form of ID at all, and she had to check in for them. To her credit, she thought it was weird to have no identification at 31, but given the boyfriend's love bombing, he spent $1K on this trip alone, she was keen to overlook it. At this point though, I couldn't ignore my gut feeling, and decided to do some digging. Here's where things took a turn. First, I found his Instagram, which had no posts, and mostly bot accounts following him. Eventually, I found his Facebook under a different name, along with a wedding registry between him and another woman from 2024. While we knew he had an ex-fiancée, all he said about his breakup was that she left him 6 months prior. On a whim, I decided to run both their names on a municipal and criminal case lookup. Turns out, his ex-fiancée is in jail, which is the real reason they broke up. He, on the other hand, has an outstanding court case, along with multiple, serious, previous charges, for a similar offense, with the most recent incident dated December of 2024. At this point, I'm panicking. No license, no form of identification, no real social media, active criminal charges, and I am discovering all of this while she's camping in the woods alone with him. I'm scared that if I tell her now, while they're together, she will panic and he'll become aggressive. But if I say nothing, am I putting her in more danger? What do I do? Update. TW, addiction. My friend is home and safe. Thank you so much to everyone for the advice regarding this admittedly insane situation. It's been a long 2 days, but what matters most is everyone is okay. Here's an update of what's happened since discovering my best friend's new boyfriend isn't who he said he was while they were camping alone together. Without knowing this person, or how they would react to confrontation, we decided not to disclose the information while they were alone together. I know some may have handled this differently, but my friend had already confronted him about the lack of ID, and based on his response, we decided telling her posed more risk than waiting. Her anxiety would have led to another, potentially worse, confrontation. The trip was supposed to last 2 nights, but they cut it short after we staged a minor emergency, that something came up, and nobody could watch her cats. I think she could tell something was off, between the missing ID and our constant demands for signs of life, because she agreed to come home without much pushback. We met at her house last night to debrief. She kept mentioning how she felt she was missing something. He would disappear often, wouldn't give much detail about his ex or his breakup or his license, and always wore one of those compression sleeves on his arm. He also used language that made my friend uncomfortable, refers to women as B*cheese, uses the R word and F word to describe queer people, of which we have several in our friend group, etc. And honestly, it was reassuring to hear her question things. I was worried his constant love bombing would have made her deny the information we'd gathered, but her doubts gave us an opportunity to really dive in. We told her everything. Showed her receipts from the court cases, including his failure to appear, the not-so-old wedding registry, his fake social media accounts, his messages with me, even the charges against his ex-fiancé. And once we laid it all out there, she did something none of us expected. She confronted him. Via text message, but without hesitation, she demanded answers. And after hours of back and forth, until like 1 a.m., he finally confessed to, at the very least, the details we could prove. Turns out, his ex-fiancée and him dated for 7 years before breaking up only 3 months ago, when she was released from jail after rehab. She took the cat and left their apartment after getting clean. He'd always blamed the ex for taking his cat but only said she left him for no reason. He'd been an addict for 10 years, hadn't sought inpatient rehab, but was currently in a 3-month outpatient program, like NA meetings. And finally, that he was planning to tell her all of this once. In his words, she loved him enough that these details didn't matter. He listed all the reasons why she should stay, mostly including the money he'd spent on her for dates, $1,000. It was an emotional roller coaster. She has so far admitted that, currently, she isn't capable of taking on something as significant as his situation. But she did confess that, deep down, she wished she didn't know any of this information because he treated her so well, buying gifts for her friends, smothering her, complimenting her, etc. It's still unclear what more he's hiding. But for now, she's safe and seems to be taking everything seriously. Thank you again to everyone who helped us find the right way to bring her home. We will see where things go from here. Any additional advice is welcome/appreciated. P.S. None of this information is intended, in any way, to shame recovery. The lack of honesty and manipulation is the highlight, and to all those who are in recovery, have recovered, and still struggle, you are valid, and this update is not intended to diminish those struggles.